Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 392nd Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. Straight away you'll see this is a flat, grassy land map, and it's a custom map hosted by Brotherhood member Crypto. Okay, our first teammate is myself, Spartan Commander, who has bought his usual 12 infantry and 6 cavalry. Remember, this army is probably 10 years old or older even, maybe, but I like to, as you know, I like to bring my older armies to the modern day battlefield to see how well it will do against good modern players. So, it'll be interesting to see how that old army does. Our next teammate is Brotherhood member Legion 22, who has bought the Greek cities faction. She's got 1, 2, 6. He's got 12 Spartan units. Just have a quick look at the upgrades on those Spartan units, and you can see 6 upgrades, so that'd be gold shield, gold attack. Remember, these guys have got 2 hit points, excellent morale, excellent specifications, and a really elite infantry. And I see he's got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 8 Cretan archers. So 12 Spartan units and 8 Cretan archers. So that's a pretty good army there. But remember that Greek cities have no decent cavalry. So remember, every time you bring Greek cities, you put your team at a cavalry disadvantage. So you must make sure that you play your elite Spartan troops as the best that you can to try and make up for that cavalry disadvantage. Okay. So it's okay bringing Greek cities, but remember there is going to be a cavalry disadvantage there. Okay, our next teammate, and I wanted to show you this army because it's a very unusual army build, is Brotherhood member Crypto, the host of this battle. Now, just like to show you here, can you see he's only got 6 infantry? 6 infantry, an incredibly low amount of infantry to bring to the modern day battlefield. But I'd just like to show you the upgrades he's got on that infantry. 9 upgrades, fully upgraded troops there. So that's 3 experienced stripes, gold shield, gold attack. Now, you know that urban cohorts play well with just gold on. Well, gold gives them an attack of 17 and a defense of 27. You fully upgrade those urban cohorts, and that gives them an attack of 20 and a massive defense of 30. So yes, he's only got 6 infantry, but they are all fully upgraded with that massive 30 defense and a 20 attack there. Plus, don't forget, with those 3 experienced strikes, that makes them veteran troops as well. So these guys are going to fight right down to the last man. But, as I say, only 6 infantry. That's not, as I say, not very many for the modern day battlefield there. So it'd be interesting to see if fully upgraded urban cohorts will do well against obviously bigger numbers there. I see he's got 1, 2, 3. He got 8 archers there. He's got mixed archers. He's got the auxiliary archers and the cheap Roman archers there. And I see he's got 6 cavalry. Okay, let's have a look at the upgrades on his cavalry. Okay, he's got 7 upgrades. So he's got an experienced stripe, gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry there. But as I say, that 6 infantry there, that'll be an interesting thing to see there. It's kind of going to be, is it going to be quality over quantity? Fully upgraded urbans, but only 6 of them with the quality against a lot of enemy urbs. And here is the other team here. That's an interesting formation there, and that is Brotherhood member Lando, or as veterans would know him, Brotherhood member Turbo. And as you can see, he's bought the Macedon faction there. Okay, so I think he's got, let's have a look, 15 pikes. Yeah, 15 pikes there. As I say, it's an interesting formation that he's got there. My guess is he's going to have lesser upgraded troops at the front there. Let's have a look and see. Yeah, he's got gold shield, gold attack on his forward units there, and I see he's got an experienced stripe, gold shield, gold attack on his rear battle lines there. So obviously enemy troops have to fight through these lesser upgraded troops here, hopefully getting tired or winded as they fight through them, and then as they fight through them, they come up against the more upgraded elite troops that he's got in the rear there. So that's a nice staggered upgrade formation there. He's got 4 Cretan archers. Remember, those 120 man units are extremely susceptible to missile damage. You see these archers have got 7 upgrades, and that's an experienced stripe, gold shield, gold attack. So that's some serious firepower he's got there with those archers. As I say, and he's got the general there as well with 7 upgrades on armoured cavalry general. Now you know that he'll use this armoured cavalry general extremely well, harassing and haranguing and disrupting the enemy lines there. So that's a pretty good Macedon army there. Maybe a little bit cavalry light, but it'll be interesting to see as the battle develops. Okay, their next teammate is Brotherhood member Mystique, who has bought the Rome SPQR faction. And I think got 13 urban cohorts there. And looks like 4 archer units. So I'll draw your attention to the upgrades on these archer units. Okay, you've got 4 upgrades, 4 archers there. Look at the upgrades. Fully upgraded. 9 upgrades on there. So that's 3 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. So these archers are extremely serious. As we know, the archer auxiliary have already got long range and do a lot of damage, but you fully upgrade them. And that, as I say, makes them extremely serious archers there. Can do a lot of damage to the enemy troops there with those upgrades on. So that'd be interesting to see how well Mystique's archers do. Now notice Mystique's brought those archers over to Mystique's teammates there, because Mystique will know that those 120 man units are extremely susceptible to missile damage, so he's brought his archers over there to support Macedon, his Macedon ally there. I see Mystique has got 3 cavalry units. Quick look at the upgrades. Okay, 8 upgrades. So that's 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. Now we know the Praetorian cavalry are elite in their own right anyway, but you put 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack on, and that kind of makes them super elite. So it'll be interesting to see how well those cavalry do during the course of the battle. So that's Mystique's army there. 13 infantry, 3 cavalry, and 4 fully upgraded archers. Okay, the last teammate is Brotherhood member Aurelius, who's also bought the Rome SPQR faction. As you can see there, 2, 4, 6, only 9 infantry. Again, a low amount of infantry for the modern day battlefield. But I see that Aurelius, amongst his units, has got an eagle unit there for morale. Plus, he's got his infantry general. So there is a lot of morale going on there. But as I say, 9 infantry. That is a low amount of infantry for the modern day battlefield. I see got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 archer units there. And now, bearing in mind there's not a lot of money spent on the infantry, I'm thinking that he's going to have good upgrades on his 6 cavalry. Let's have a look. Yeah, you can see that he's got 8 upgrades. 2 experience stroke, gold shield, gold attack. Now, like we said just a few minutes ago, this Praetorian cavalry is extremely elite in its own right. But you put those type of upgrades on, and that's going to make them super elite there. So there's the other team there. Looks pretty good to me. A lot of experience there, lots of really good army builds there. But I'd just like to ask maybe newer players to Rome Total War a little bit of a tactical attack question here. Now, can you see, now we've seen Lando in other battles use his cavalry general extremely well. Remember, that's a fast moving cavalry general. Heavy cavalry won't catch it. What do you think he's bought that unit for specifically? Have a look at the other team. Have a look at our team. Why do you think he'd want to bring that fast moving unit there? Well, I think he wants to bring that fast unit to smash into the side of me as I'm moving over to the centre to join my allies, or more likely, I'm thinking that he wants to use that unit to hit our allies' Cretan archers. Okay, that's a fast moving cavalry unit. Look where he's got it, right at the front of his army there, ready to attack. So I think I've got to get over there as fast as I can with my cavalry to try and cover my allies' Cretan archers from that fast moving unit. Okay, at this very, very early stage of the battle here, as we're all moving to, just starting to move here, can you see both Mystique and Lando have got the same idea, moving their cavalry units over here to target our Cretan allies, our Cretan archer ally here. That's who they're going to try and hit, the Cretan archers. See how fast they're moving over there to try and hit them? Now, what I would say Legion needs to do is move his archers into his pike, into his spearmen there for a bit of cover. As you can see, I'm moving my army over as fast as I can here to try and cover there, but as I say, or let's say Legion needs to move those archers into his spears there for some cover against those 2 cavalry units. My guess is Lando's going to smash into the flank of those archer units anyway, and you can see him bang as he charges in with that cavalry unit there. You see here I'm moving my cavalry over there to try and cover it. I would like to have caught that Macedon general there, but he's just going to get away from my heavy cavalry units. See Mystique going to bring that SPQR unit round, but it's being targeted by archers, plus the number of troops there that were distraught by enemy numbers there, so that unit has now been routed. Let's just pause the game for a second. So that was a nice aggressive move there by both Mystique and Lando there, but those archers were targeting him there. And as you can see, over here on our left flank, you see Brotherhood member Crypto being extremely aggressive here, moving very, very fast towards the enemy SPQR team in front of him. You can see those SPQR cavalry we're looking to charge into those archers, but they're being targeted by archer fire now. Plus you can see that Crypto's brought his cavalry over there to cover his archers. But just look at the arrow as they're going into each other. This is a real archer battle over here on our left flank. So a lot of Crypto's cavalry there are going to be targeted by those enemy archers there as they're pulling back. Just going to pause the game for a second here. Can you see that Crypto here is using an old-fashioned tactic of putting his cheaper archers, the Roman archers, in front of his dearer auxiliary archers here. So those Roman archers have got shorter range, but if by putting them in front of his more dear archers, his more elite archers, they're going to hopefully take the casualties from the enemy archers there, where his elite archers at the rear will still be able to shoot into the enemy, but may not suffer so many casualties. Because obviously they'll be concentrating on his forward archer units, which are the cheap units. So that's a nice old-fashioned tactic there by Crypto. Haven't seen that used for a while. You can see that unit that we saw routed earlier has now rallied. And you can see, as I say, Landon there using his cavalry general there very effectively, charged into my units as they were moving, causing casualties there. So I say there's a lot of archer firing going on here at the moment. Let's say Mystique's unit there that rallied is being targeted, I should imagine, by archer fire there. Yeah, you can see a few of the cavalry units have been taken out there. A few cavalrymen have been taken out there by Legion's archers here. But you can see Legion and myself are formed up here to face the enemy SBQR army and the enemy Macedon army there. As you can see, Crypto on the other flank there is a long way away from us, aggressively looking to move towards the enemy SBQR troops on the other flank. Right, you can see the enemy archers moving forward. They'd like to either target my cavalry or our allies' Cretan archers there. Okay, that fast-moving Macedonian general unit moving around the battlefield would still like to hit obviously our Cretan archers there, but if you're going on cavalry there, I would think that would probably make him think twice about that. You can see Mystique's fully upgraded SBQR archers over there shooting into the flank of Legion's infantry. Look at those arrows coming in. It's like a rain of arrows there. It's like it's raining arrows onto them there, as you can see. Remember those, I think those SBQR archers there were fully upgraded. So those arrows are going to be doing a lot of damage. But remember, because those Spartans have got 2 hit points and excellent specifications in general, they will suffer less damage from missiles than other units. Okay, let's just pause the game for a second here. So as you can see here, that general there, armoured general, still trying to smash into the front of my units there, but you can see Legion moving forward there. And he's being targeted by those SBQR archers. But you can see the Macedon and enemy SBQR armies there are kind of merging there, maybe to look to take on Legion's Greek cities. But say meanwhile over on our left flank here, there's like a separate battle going on, if you like, between enemy SBQR troops and our Julii ally there. Okay, as I say, Crypto's got his more expensive elite archers at the rear there shooting into the enemy troops, where I think his cheaper Roman archers have possibly just been taken out there. Okay, but you can see the enemy SBQR general now is moving towards Crypto's army. For a split second there, so that cavalry was thinking about being charged into that infantry, but that cavalry will now be targeted by Crypto's archers there, causing him a lot of casualties, I would think, there, as he pulls back. So don't forget over here that enemy SBQR general's just got 9 infantry, and Crypto's got just 6, but fully upgraded. See, as I say, that enemy Macedon general, Roman army general there, was hitting a lot of our, trying to hit a lot of our archers there, which I've just chased off with my infantry. With my cavalry units there. Wouldn't surprise me if he charged that cavalry unit into the rear of that archer unit there. Can you see how fast moving those general armoured units are? Do you see Crypto try to intercept him with that Julii cavalry, but couldn't, because that unit's so fast moving there. And bang, as he smashes into those archers, probably routing them. There you go, routing them there. You notice that Crypto's trying to chase down that armoured general with his heavy cavalry, but the Macedon general knows that he can outrun that heavy cavalry with that general armoured cavalry unit there. As you can see here, the SBQR general is being quite aggressive towards Crypto's army. Looks like he's going to charge in there and then decides to withdraw. Well, of course, when he withdraws and shows his back to the Julii archers there, of course the rear, as we know, are the most exposed part and weak part of a unit on RTW. So as you pull your cavalry back under archer fire, you're going to lose quite a few of your cavalrymen there. Okay, you can see here Legion started to move his units over to the left there, but then you can see the enemy SBQR and Macedon units head towards my army there. Pause again for a second. Can you see here that those enemy Cretan archers were a little bit exposed there, and I smashed into them with my cavalry. Remember, when you use archers, you need to keep an eye on them, because they can become isolated if you're not careful. And as you can see there, I've charged my cavalry and just take out those Cretan archers. Now, those SBQR cavalry are coming across there, but there's only 3 of them. So I'm probably going to stand my ground there and probably counter-attack their attack there, as you can see now. Now, if you notice here, can you see that both of us have alt-attacked? We're fighting with our heavy swords instead of our light lances here. Okay, now I can see the enemy SBQR infantry coming across here, but what I'd like to do is try and take out this SBQR cavalry if I can. Hopefully before that infantry arrives, I'd like to do that. Obviously, if we can take out that SBQR cavalry, that will give us a cavalry advantage there. So I want to stay as long as I can, killing as many of those SBQR cavalry as I can before those SBQR infantry get across there. I think it might be time to pull my cavalry back now as that infantry starts charging. Yep, you can see I'm pulling my cavalry back. I've also brought my infantry over there to try and intercept that SBQR infantry there as well. Remember, in most cases with my small army there, I'm usually outnumbered by enemy troops, which is the case here as well. Okay, you can see Mystique's archers there at the rear, but also you've got a large amount of those Macedon pikemen moving in my direction as well at this time. Okay, let's just pause again for a second. So as you can see here, the enemy SBQR troops are throwing pilers in and are attacking my Julio units there. We've also got enemy Macedon pikemen moving over to my flank as well. My ally Legion 22 with his Greek cities is charging into the flank of those moving Macedon pikemen there. Nice bit of support there by Legion. Just like to draw your attention here to the length of these Macedonian pikes. Okay, see how long those pikes are. Okay, in comparison to the short Spartan spears. Okay, so those short Spartan spears there, I've got to try and fight all the way down those long pikes to kill the man on the other end. Okay, so that's the difference in the pike and spear length there, just for a bit of interest. And meanwhile, over here on our left flank, you can see that Crypto is pulling his troops back here, trying to link up with Legion and myself. But of course, every time he's moving, he's being targeted by enemy archers. Plus, you've got those SBQR cavalry looking probably to come around the flank of his troops there. Okay, so meanwhile over here on the right flank, as you can see, I'm trying to hold against a concerted SBQR enemy attack, plus those Macedon pikemen moving over here as well. Right, can you see my cavalry charging in there? And as they charge through my engaged infantry, bang, as they smash into those enemy SBQR troops there. Okay, I think over on this flank we have got cavalry advantage. I think we did severely weaken, if not taken out, those most of those SBQR cavalry there. Okay, do you notice I charge in? I get the full cavalry charge bonus and then pull my cavalry back. Okay, I don't want to get into a tussle with enemy infantry. I just want to use the impact of my cavalry there. Right, as you can see here on our right flank there, I'm being heavily engaged by the enemy SBQR troops, plus I'm being targeted by enemy archers there. Meanwhile over here you can see the enemy Macedonian formation there facing our Greek city's ally. Notice how the Macedon general would like to start attacking the flanks of our Greek city ally there with his Macedon pikemen while holding in the middle. Okay, so that's a nice tactical formation there. Meanwhile over here on our left flank you can see the enemy SBQR infantry and cavalry here being aggressive towards Crypto's army. Now if you notice here, can you see Crypto's taking his Julio cavalry over to the other flank at this time. He's moving his infantry back also as he moves his cavalry over, but you can see the SBQR cavalry are hitting his infantry. Right, see how Crypto's charging his cavalry over here, and bang, as they smash into the enemy SBQR troops. Great bit of support work there, and you can see here, I'm charging my cavalry in from the left flank as well into those SBQR troops as well. So those SBQR troops have just got a double cavalry hit on them. There's nice support there by Crypto with his cavalry, let's say charging mine as well. So those SBQR troops are under a lot of pressure. The Macedon general there has noticed his SBQR ally under pressure and starting to move his pikes across. Meanwhile over on our left flank here, as I say, you can see Crypto moving his small infantry army back, doing tactical withdrawal there from those SBQR troops, trying to get closer to both Legion and myself with his infantry. All the time his archers are going to be shooting into those enemy SBQR troops, plus Legion's well upgraded Cretan archers shooting into the enemy as well. Okay, so there's a lot of archer action going on, as well as the infantry and cavalry. So I say it was a nice bit of support there by Crypto there with his cavalry. But as I say, the enemy Macedon general has seen his SBQR ally is under pressure there and started to move his pike units across there to support. Okay, so as I say, you can see the enemy bringing a lot of pike support over there to their SBQR ally there. Right, you can see Crypto there was looking to charge in again, but decided not to when he saw those pikes there. You can see the Macedon general there charging in, cavalry general there charging into my units again. Once again, Crypto charging into a different part of the battle line there, charging them, bang, as he hits those SBQR units. Nice cavalry hit there. Once again, great support, teamwork here by Crypto using his cavalry there to help me on this right flank. I think whoever wins on this right flank, it could prove pivotal and decisive to the outcome of the battle. So that's why I think everybody's throwing in their resources there as much as they can onto this right flank. Right, can you see I'm looking to charge my cavalry in there, looking to hit the back or flank of those engaged SBQR troops, or even take out that Macedon general if I can. But I see that one Macedon pike unit there has stood its ground, put its pikes in there, so I don't want any truck with anti-cavalry bonus pike units there. I just want to pull my cavalry back out the way. Maybe to try and hit some of those SBQR archers out, or even try and take out that Macedon cavalry general. Right, so you can see there I'm looking to go for that those archer units there, but you can see the Macedon pikes have come over there to support their archers. Let's pause again for a second. So to say here, I'd like to have taken out that that Macedon general there, but now I'm going to push on into those SBQR archers, but there's some Macedon pikemen coming across. Meanwhile here you can see my Greek city's ally is moving his Spartan units over to support me against those Macedon units. And over on our left flank here, you can see that the enemy SBQR troops are aggressively attacking Crypto's troops there. And you can see several of Crypto's units are starting to rout there. But as I say, there's archers shooting all the time from both sides here. There's some SBQR cavalry there attacking our Cretan archer ally there. But if you notice there, Crypto's doing a counter attack with his cavalry straight into those SBQR cavalry, and bang, as he smashes into them. So unfortunately there, our Greek city ally lost all of his Cretan archers there, but as I say, Crypto is now attacking those enemy SBQR cavalry. Now I think Aurelius there needs to bring those other cavalry units back there, because his 2 units that he's got fighting there is greatly outnumbered by the Julii cavalry there. So as I say, you can see they're greatly outnumbered there. Meanwhile, over on our right flank here, you can see that the enemy SBQR troops are being hit by our cavalry again. Charge my cavalry in there again there. But you can see there's a lot of Macedon pikemen there getting involved in this particular flank as well. Okay, I've got a few battle damaged cavalry units left that I'm sending over to help Crypto against those SBQR cavalry. See my battle damaged units there that I'm charging in, and bang, as that first unit hits. You can see the SBQR general bringing infantry over to this particular part of the battlefield, but I think we have now, between us, routed all the SBQR cavalry over on that flank. As you can see here, the enemy SBQR and our Julii ally are really engaged there in a tough battle, but we've got cavalry in behind those SBQR infantry now. And what we'll be looking to do, I'm thinking, is charging into them. Meanwhile, over here on the right flank, I've got Macedon units pressing in on my Julii units, plus I got those enemy SBQR infantry pressing in on them as well. They're probably looking to target my general. As you can see, I've got a few battle damaged units left. My Greek city's ally is helping as much as he can there, but I've got a lot of pressure on my my infantry at the moment. As you can see, Legion there 22 pushing in with his Greek city units. But as I say, over here on the left flank there, we have got cavalry in behind the enemy SBQR troops there. So okay, we're all battle damaged here, but if we can smash into the rear of those engaged SBQR troops, I reckon we got a good chance of routing them at this stage of the battle. Right, see Crypto charging there, he's going for the general, the enemy general there. But I think I'm going to go for that Eagle unit. See the Eagle, remember the Eagle unit there? They're not so good as urban cohorts. If you could smash into the rear of that Eagle unit, if I could take that Eagle unit out, it would take away that morale. There you go. So I've smashed into the rear of that SBQR Eagle unit there, routed it now, so that's a lot of morale that the enemy team will be losing now through taking out that Eagle unit. Let's say Crypto's in behind those SPQR units with his battle damage cavalry, charging into the rear. Bang, as he charges in, if I'm charging my cavalry in as well. But meanwhile, over on our right flank here, as I say, you can see my units here are being hit by both Macedon pikemen and those enemy SPQR troops. You see several of my Julii units are starting to rout. Even the Macedon cavalry general is just charged into my units, so I'm trying to take my general out all the time, that you see. Obviously, as we all know, if you lose your general, then obviously you're going to lose those morale bonus that the general's giving your troops here. I've got 2 men left in my general unit there. So, I'm not sure how long he'll last. Can you see these 2 Greek city units? Can you see that Greek city unit just glowed? It just had a battlefield promotion. Remember, units that do well, they get a battlefield promotion. It just got an experience stripe put on him there. He's being sandwiched between those Macedon units there. Okay, so basically I think my arm is down to just my general unit, and I've got 2 men left in that. Okay, the rest of my army has now been taken out, so I've just got my general left there, and I think it's to say got 2 men left. He's got the standard bearer there, carrying the standard, and my general. That's the only two. That's the only 2 men I've got left out of my whole army. The rest of my troops have now been routed. Okay, so I'm going to try and look after that, because even though I've only got 2 men there, it's still giving general morale bonus to my allies. Okay, so I'm going to keep my general close to my allies there to give them the morale bonus from him as much as I can, but I try and keep him out of the fight as much as I can, obviously, because he's only got 2 men left and he's very susceptible to being taken out there. Okay, you see my Greek city ally and my Julii ally there moving towards those Macedon troops, and those SPQR archers are still shooting into us here. Can you see here how the Macedon general has spotted Crypto's general here over fighting his SPQR ally? So he's brought pike units over there to try and take out Crypto's general, but also he's put a blocking force there. Look. Can you see he's put a couple of blocking units there to stop our Greek city ally coming across to support his ally there. You can see Legion charging that some Spartan units in there at the rear with just sword attack. But I thought that was a nice little move there by the Macedon general, putting a blocking unit there to try and hold up our allies getting across to help Crypto's general there. Nice tactical blocking move there by Lando with that Macedon unit. But remember that I think Crypto's units infantry are all fully upgraded, so they're not going to rout very easily. As you can see, our Greek city ally there pushing in on that Macedon blocking force there. I saw another unit glowing there, got a battlefield promotion. Can you see I've got my general up behind my Greek city's unit there, giving morale bonus, a general morale bonus. But as I say, just 2 men left in my my general unit there, but it can still give general morale bonus to my allies. So I'm keeping my general as close as I can to my allies there to give them that that general morale bonus. Okay, you can see a lot of the Macedon units starting to rout now, with our Greek city Spartans pushing in on them. If you notice here, can you see the Macedon armoured cavalry generator trying to take my general out? Okay, he's only got 1 man left in his unit there, but I think he was trying to take my general out there. He's just struck him there, I think, with his sword, but my general's still holding there. But as you can see here, the last of the SPQR units there are still holding there against that Greek city mincing machine. As we know there, when those Greek cities move forward like that and towards enemy troops, it's like a mincemeat machine there, how they kind of push forward. And I think that's the last of the enemy infantry has now been routed. Let's just pause the game for a second here. Now remember, this is only a 3v3. I just thought I'd show you how large the battlefield was. You still got archers here shooting arrows into us that they've been doing all through the battle here. But let's say it's only a 3v3. And you remember the battle started kind of off over here on the left flank here. You can see casualties there. So to say, it was fought over quite a large area for a 3v3. But obviously the more concentrated fighting was actually over here in the centre and on the right flank, especially over here. You can see here the intensity of the fighting here by the piles of dead. Now bearing in mind this is only a 3v3, I mean that is masses of dead there. And as I say, whoever won on that right flank, like we said earlier, it did look to be decisive and pivotal to the outcome of the battle. As I say, that's the only 2 men I've got left out of my entire army, the general and the standard bearer. So that just goes to show how tough the battle it was there. Bearing in mind that, as you know, most of my troops got an experience stripe on, so just to have those 2 men left, it just goes to show how tough the fighting was. Let's say Aurelius is still shooting arrows into us there, but it wouldn't surprise me if if he admitted defeat soon. So it'll be interesting to see that. Probably there you are. It's one admitted defeat, and they just admitted defeat there. So our team has just about managed to to go on and win the battle there. Okay, as you can see, it's a close victory, as we thought it would be. There's a close victory there. Just like to draw your attention to the highest kills in the game. There is Brotherhood member Crypto, 1,547. Remember, he only had 6 infantry, but they were fully upgraded, and he managed to get the highest kills with that. So, newer players around Total War, do you want quality or quantity? Okay, that's one of the reasons I wanted to show you this battle here. Both Legion and myself did okay for kills as well, but well done to the enemy team. Lando probably didn't get the kills that he wanted there, just over 1,000, but well done to Mystique and Aurelius there. So I thought that was an interesting battle there for you to watch, and I hope you enjoyed it. And like I say, do you prefer quality or quantity with those fully upgraded units? Spartan Commander saying bye for now.